In order to beat a hacker, we have to know what they use. Today I'm going to cover methods hackers use in Call of Duty Warzone. Welcome back to COD Filming. Let's get into the video. Number 10, Aimbot. Aimbot is the most infamous hack in the game. Most hackers have their aim down sight settings on headshot only and can kill players at the theoretical time to kill of every gun. Aimbot is usually the easiest hack to identify, and hackers that use it can get 30 kills without trying. There are ways to hide it, however, and not all cheaters are naive enough to enable headshots only. For example, sophisticated hacks can be set to center mass instead of only headshots. It is much more difficult to tell if someone is cheating when they are hitting body shots. Another issue is the fact that these players can toggle off their cheats on and off with a click of a key. Without a kill cam, there is not a way to know if players were killed by a cheater or a good player. Number 9, stopping power and precision. There are great Warzone players in almost every lobby, and they have incredible aim. Players should not assume that every time they are outgunned and the opponent is cheating. In fact, most of the players are not. There are strategies to beat other players, and the community should try to get better at the game instead of pointing the finger after every death. Players with above average aim and stopping power can down enemies in an instant. Players should look to see if the enemy has an orange highlight over their ammo count in the kill cam before assuming that the opponent is hacking. Number 8, wall hacks. Another common hack allows players to see enemies through walls. There are different variations of the hack, but most show all the enemy players on the map as red figures. Hackers can position themselves wherever they want and catch the unsuspecting players off guard. If coupled with aimbot, wall hackers are essentially invincible. Unless they are killed by a lucky headshot or airstrike, the hackers will kill everyone in the lobby. Wall hacks are slightly harder to spot if the player using them is cleverly. By popping UAVs and not following players through walls, hackers can get away with cheating. Number 7, advanced UAVs, dead silence, and elite headsets. Just because a player knows where enemies are on the map does not mean they are cheating. Advanced UAVs can spot ghosted players outside of a certain range, and a large number of players have heartbeat sensors. Similarly, dead silence allows players to move around buildings freely and listen for the location of enemy players. Professionals and competent players have the best headsets on the market and can use cues to identify exactly where an enemy is. Number 6, Cronus Max. While technically not a hack, the Cronus allows players to artificially control recoil patterns instead of having to control recoil and aim. The Cronus can be programmed to keep recoil centered and make aiming much easier. The Cronus is even more difficult to detect than wall hacks because skilled players can control recoil and have precise aim. If a good player has Cronus, they will be as incredible at aiming as some of the best players in the world. Number 5, misconception. Players with 20 kills are cheating. Dominant Warzone players can get high kill games without hacking or getting into easy lobbies. The simple explanation is that there will always be a better player in the game. Top players lose gunfights all the time, and even casual players can get 20 kill games if the stars align. Ultimately, getting a lot of kills in Warzone involves a number of factors, and many of the players having incredible games are not cheating. Number 4, permanent UAV. The permanent UAV is by far the most difficult hack to detect. Players that do not want to get caught can continuously buy and pop UAVs, and enemies will have no idea that they are cheating. There is one way to detect someone who is using a permanent UAV. If the player can identify where enemies are that have ghosts, they might be using a permanent UAV. The most suspicious occurrences are when a ghosted player is killed by an enemy that knows their exact location in a building, without sound or visual cues. It is impossible to know exactly where a ghosted player is. Number 3, frames, ping, and hertz. Unfortunately, players using old generation consoles are at a disadvantage. The PS4 and Xbox One are capped at 30 FPS, which is half of what players on the PS5 and Xbox Series X have. PC players can easily get more than 100 FPS, and Warzone players will lose gunfights because opponents see more and react faster in real time. Similarly, players with bad connections will have trouble competing with players that have 30 ping or less. Number 2, bot lobbies. With the advent of Warzone skill-based matchmaking, streamers and professionals are being accused of finding ways to get into both lobbies. There are a variety of ways to get into low-skill lobbies. The easiest way for players to do this is to use a second account that is low-level and have the second account leave before the match is queued. Players have also been using Warzone SBMM to judge the skill of a lobby in real time. Players can leave gold to diamond lobbies and restart for a match. The catch-22 of this tactic is that Warzone SBMM tracks the difficulty of each player's lobbies. Number 1, reverse boosting in SBMM. Because of the way skill-based matchmaking works, trio and squad lobbies will sometimes give higher skill players easier opponents. The SBMM system has been analyzed in detail by prominent YouTubers and content creators. Even players with a 5.0 or higher KD will come up against players that are sub 1.0 KD at some point. By looking at the past 30 or so games a player has queued into, it is clear whether that player was doing something fishy to get better lobbies. Players with a 1.5 or higher KD should not be getting into more than a few bronze games in session. Also, the SBMM algorithm takes into account the average KD of each team. Players that have friends with lower KDs will benefit by having more inexperienced players in their lobbies. This brings us to the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit like if you did, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on any of our videos in the future. Also watch the 2 videos that are on your screen because I'm sure you'll love them. With that, I'll see you in the next video.